All right, now we're talking to Jon Fabris. And Coach, before we talk football, you might be my favorite guy in the entire athletic department to talk baseball with. Passing of, I think, one of the 6, 7 greatest players of all time, and maybe the most underrated of those 6 or 7 great players, Stan Musial, St. Louis Cardinal. Your reflections on Stan the man.
I would agree with you. I've always thought of all the most well-known players, he was the most underrated of all of them. And probably because of his personality, the fact that he didn't play in a big area like St. Louis, even though it's a great baseball town, but I thought he was the most underrated player in the history of the game. I really believe that. He
also showed up at big moments in the World Series and was just as good on the road as he is at home, and that's what you're looking at, when you're looking at football players. And let's talk about David Kenny out of Indianapolis, a young man who comes in highly regarded out of Indianapolis and is part of a great group that should bolster that defensive line.
Well, hopefully that's the case. We didn't bring him in to pick splinters out of their rear ends, but as I've told David, and I tell any young player, if you're the best guy, or if there's a thing that you can do better than someone else can, it might be a role, you will play as a freshman. I don't promise anybody anything, but we certainly are glad that David's joined us, and he does some really good things as a high school player, and hopefully he'll continue to keep pushing and improving and get better between now and even June when he and the rest of the class comes in.
Your thoughts on a couple of those things that he does pretty well for a high school player?
Well, I think he's perhaps a little bit more advanced as a pass rusher, and of course, can you translate that from where you're doing it to the next level? Because certainly the competition is going to be much sterner, the people he's going to be going against. So the bottom line is, can you continue growing? So many players today that are getting a lot of notoriety. You see it all over ESPNU, and today all the big time players. Some of them you will never hear of again. Some of them have gotten about as good as they're going to be because they've really kind of tapped out. And others basically don't forget to leave their high school trophies and awards at home when they come, because it really is a different deal. And they need to keep on moving forward. So hopefully there's no doubt in my mind that David has some abilities, both just as a football player, but I think he understands how to rush the passer. But hopefully that's going to help us next year, because we certainly need that.
Coach, congratulations on a successful signing day. Can't wait to watch these guys play in the spring and the fall.
Well, I'm looking forward to spring practice too. It's my favorite time of the year.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
All right.